My name is Alexander. I'm a generalist advisor here at East Hart Citizens Advice. I've been volunteering at Citizens Advice for almost 11 years now, almost 6 years here. The thing I like about volunteering is it's a good way for me to give something back. I did initially do this as something that I thought would be something that would help in a legal career, but I found volunteering much more enjoyable than that. I found it had all sorts of aspects to it, so helping other people, but also getting out there, getting together with other like-minded people that were also interested in volunteering. Well, a typical day for me starts with coming into the office, saying good morning to everyone, checking to see if there's any new information I need to be aware of. So some of that will be news about recent events that affect the law and then may have some practical effect for our clients that's going to happen in the future or on that day. So sometimes the news is about a new policy or a new benefit or a new process that we need to be aware of. So that's the first thing I do. And then what then happens is sometimes when I come in, there's already clients waiting. Sometimes we have quite high demand, quite busy in the morning. So what I tend to do is I'll sit down at my desk, check with the supervisor, see who's coming in, who's waiting to be seen. And if it's a new client, I'll just go out and see them. If it's an old client, I then will just check to see if there's any sort of ongoing issues, because a lot of our advice is actually helping people through a journey of various problems that need to be dealt with fairly complex situations. So it's not unusual to have someone come in for one problem, get help and advice on that, and then need to come back either to follow up to see if there's additional actions or if there's another aspect to the problem that we weren't able to deal with in one setting. I find a lot of satisfaction helping someone get on a benefit if they've been struggling to make a claim and they've had difficulties. But one of the things I found, I think probably the best thing is doing something. Sometimes it's not the largest things, it's the small things, and seeing that relief on a client's face when you've fixed a problem. And in some cases that's just giving them breathing room in debt cases, or just letting them know, they're dealing with a relationship breakdown, and they're worried about the ramifications of that and all sorts of aspects, and just sometimes giving people seeing the relief that sets in when you give them a clear pathway or help them understand that there is actually a way of dealing with it. And once you help someone sort of break down their complex problem into a series of simple steps, sometimes that's just really rewarding to see someone feeling, they come in, they're upset, they're anxious, they don't know what to do, and then to see them go out the door after your interview feeling that they're in control and they can see a clear path through their problem. I think sometimes it's the frustration of dealing with a consumer problem, and knowing that your client's right, and then you've got to put in all that extra argument and effort to get that. I find that probably the most frustrating thing, when you can see the path of solving someone's problem and then other people sort of resist, so you've got to then advocate and push through with them. So I find if someone's thinking of volunteering, I'd say to them, go for it. Because sometimes people think, oh, this isn't for me, I'm not confident enough for that, I have difficulty dealing with people. Well, if you volunteer for CAB, you're not just sort of thrown out there. There is a support network behind you, and it's that kind of, when you start volunteering, you're kind of welcomed into a community of volunteers, each of them with differing levels of experience, and as long as you're open to learn from others and you're willing to sort of just try new things, I think it's a great place to volunteer. And one of the other things about volunteering is the skills you gain. So I started out as a sort of generalist advisor. I do generalist, but I've had opportunities to do in-depth training in benefits, debt, relationships, consumer issues, and as long as you're sort of willing to, just try new things, the CAB does put you on courses. It does help you so you've got your initial training as a volunteer, but then there's opportunities to do training with other organisations also working in sort of benefits and debt and consumer issues, and yeah, it's definitely helped get over the problems I used to have with mathematics at school. Doing a lot of debt advice, I found that kind of gave me good financial skills, which, you know, in learning to support others with debt problems, it was actually quite, it made me think a bit more about, you know, how manage my own personal finances, and I think that kind of financial knowledge was actually quite useful in a number of areas. And if you were thinking of going into, you know, any kind of career that needed a bit of finance, that the skills I learned from doing debt advice were very helpful. Similarly, I could say that you know, dealing with people that are stressed is very good for, you know, developing your skills for dealing with the public, and, you know, in helping your client contact other bodies and things, you get negotiation skills from learning to sort of, you know, mediate between two parties. So there's all sorts of things you learn in this role, and, you know, you never stop learning.